Bernie, I hate to tell you, hon, but we're going to double the number of signs this year. And the reason we're doing that is because we plan to win. And we are pulling out all the stops to do that. The momentum is in our favor. We're not supposed to win because of the numbers. We don't pay attention to those numbers. I'm a numbers person. And I'm standing here in front of you and telling you that I'm not paying attention to the numbers. Okay, because they can lead you astray a little bit. But yeah, my number one priority still is what the number one priority of the state legislature should be, and that is public education. That starts at early childhood development. What a remarkable return on investment you get. To not fund early childhood development is just like shooting yourself in the foot. Particular district, we're the heart of the Sun Corridor here. Transportation is very, very critical to the future of Legislative District 11. Cross-border trade now is something that you talk about in the very same breath as transportation because it's all linked with one another. And those are a couple of the really, really big issues that we face here. And there's reproductive freedom, which is all but gone in the state of Arizona, and it's unconscionable, and it makes me angry to talk about that. Let me tell you just a little bit about my background. So I live in Oro Valley. I lived in Arizona in the 80s. I was at the university in the Department of Biochemistry. I'm a scientist in biochemistry and molecular biophysics. That's what I did my whole career. And that's why I didn't teach K through 12. I did some teaching, but it was in graduate school. It's not the same thing, I understand. It's like really different. And I looked around, and you know what the first thing that really struck me is that these problems that people talk about in this state and in this country, they're not real problems. They're manufactured problems. This is a strategy that has been used very effectively as an excuse for changing the system, for changing this democracy. One of the manufactured problems, and then, okay, we're going to get back to education here, is that our public schools are failing. Our public schools are not failing. There's no data anywhere to suggest or to verify or to confirm that our public schools are failing. Can public schools do better? Is there anything in this country that could not do better? Of course they can do better. And you know, all different kinds of testing get cited, especially testing that compares us with, talk about homogeneous populations. Finland, you know, go back into the 1960s when these international tests were started. The United States students scored well below Finland in the 60s, just like they do now. There's nothing that has changed there. Because in this country, all the students take the test. And in other countries, they don't. The cream of the crop of those students take those tests. You're comparing apples and oranges. Now we have this ridiculous testing system. This high-stakes testing in our schools. In fact, it's even gotten to the point now where an entire school gets a single grade. Can you think of anything else that you would do in life where you would take an entire structure, organization, and give it one grade? Is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard of. But it has real consequences and real significance. And the backwards way of thinking about this is that if the grade is low, you get punished. You don't get helped. Your resources get cut even further. This is a manufactured problem, all right? It's very similar to the type of argument that the illegals are coming across the border and they're going to take all of our resources, you know, or the poor people are sucking up all of the money, you know, never mind the hedge fund managers that just took trillions of dollars out of our economy. And you're going to complain about somebody who's on food stamps. These are manufactured problems. They're not real. and we're chasing these pseudo problems. We're cutting the government to the point where it can't even breathe and it can't do anything for anyone. And that's happening right here in River City, right here in Arizona. Because we all know that we have a big problem that government is too big. And that's another manufactured problem. It's not the size of government, it's who government works for. It's who government is listening to. Does it make me angry? Yes, you can probably tell. We have to change that. We have to stand up and we have to say no. No, you're not going to destroy public education in this country. You know, and one of the things that we were listening to that day at the legislature were these vouchers for private schools, you know. And you have your representative standing up on the floor and saying, kids that graduate from private schools go to Harvard and Princeton and you know, have these wonderful careers. It's like, okay, logic 101 here. They've already been pre-selected. Of course they go to those places. It has nothing to do with the school that they attend. So what we're doing in this campaign and what we did in 2012 and what we're doing much more so this year, because you know, I campaigned all last year. Come on, I'm retired, right? I get in my car, I go up to Maricopa, I go to Picture Rocks, I go to Marana, okay, I do some stuff in Oro Valley. I'm all over this legislative district all the time. I kept campaigning all last year. I kept all my contacts, I made new contacts. So many people know me in this district now, and I could not say that 2 years ago in 2012, not in March or April, early April. So we're pushing because we all believe, everybody on this campaign team, everybody that works for this campaign, everybody that donates to this campaign, everybody that puts signs up for this campaign, we believe that there's a better way to do things. We believe that the majority of people in this state share our values. And that's exactly what I'm finding when I go out and talk to people. So you can read anything you want to read in Arizona Capital Times or the Arizona Republic or any other thing you want to read about how red this state is. You know, and yeah, the numbers look pretty red. But I have to tell you that people don't give a damn what party that even they are registered in, by and large. And we can talk, I talk to all party groups, Libertarian, Republican, Independents, okay, even some Green Party people, right? And even Democrats, and even the most difficult people to talk to are the entrenched Democrats who don't think I should talk to anybody but a Democrat, because then I'm violating my own principles. This is no way. You know, we do this in science. This is what makes science, good academic science, so strong. Is you find different perspectives. You have somebody read your paper. You have somebody read your grant proposal from a completely different perspective. Somebody that might not agree, in fact, with your conclusions. And if you can convince that person that you are making a valid argument, you have a stronger product in the end. And that's exactly what we should be doing in the state government right now. And we are not doing it. So the reason we have these house parties is to get the word out. Is to tell people that we're running very, very close to a non-partisan campaign here. We are developing a coalition of Democrats, Independents, Republicans, Libertarians, Green Party, whoever else, who say, listen, we know we have differences. That's not what this is about. This is about listening to the people and doing what is best for the long-term interest of the state of Arizona. And that's what this is supposed to be all about. You know, is a senator a special person? A senator is a public servant who works for everyone in this room. We need to bring it back to that, and we can do that. We can do that. We have so many people that are helping us with this campaign, and we need all the help that we can get. I don't like asking for money, but you know what? I've gotten over that. And that's because we are going to win. We're going to get the mailers out this time that we need to get out, especially to those areas where we can't go up to their door. You know, those areas where people don't pick up the phone. I phone for hours. And you know, it's slogging because most people aren't going to pick up their phone. Lots of people don't answer their doors too. But we are pushing. We are working it, and that's why I have to ask you for your support. One of my things that I like to say to folks to just kind of put this in perspective a little bit is that the Arizona Democratic Party tells me if the election was held today, I would get close to 30,000 votes. It's not enough to win, but I would get 30,000 votes. If each person who would vote for me today would give us $3, we would have our budget. So don't think that $10 is too little. I would much rather have $110 contributions than have 100 people walk away because they think $10 isn't enough. It really adds up. And that's what we have to do. That's what we're doing in this campaign right now, is we're fundraising, and we're very serious about it because we absolutely intend to win. We are changing the political climate in this district. And like Holly talked about the extremism that's making us all crazy, we are not extremists here in Arizona. Stop calling us extremists. We have some very loud people, a very loud minority that are extreme. The rest of us, we're wonderful. And I love the people of this district. I love going out and campaigning and meeting people. And thank you so much for coming.